So welcome to this video. So this is a recap from a session I run previously. So in this session I look back how I could split a plate in Blender, and a plate as in a 3D model of a plate. And we're going to use that with the help of the bisect tool in the edit mode. So as always, I press it on the N key on my keyboard because I really like this model on the right hand side. I'm gonna switch on my shortcuts for you. I'm gonna go back to my menu. I think this is called the side panel. And as always as well, I'm gonna get rid of the cube. I'm gonna import my model that I wanna split, STL. So I found this model on Thingiverse, and it's a nice and low poly model. And I wanna split it because I want to 3D print it like upright, like so. Now, if I look at my dimensions, this plate is really small. So if we look at these values, if I would 3D print this, it would be approximately 1.75 by 1.7 millimeters and 0.2 millimeters tall. Well, that's a bit small. So I did some calculations beforehand, and basically this plate is 1,000 times too small. No, sorry, I think it was it's 100 times smaller, so S100. That's right. Okay, so the plate is now 100 times bigger. And if I look here, if I translate this to millimeters, like, yeah, this could be a nice small plate. Let's say approximately 17 by 17.5 centimeters, 2.5 centimeters tall. Good. So we have done that. Now we're going to split the model into, this is a bit fiddly. So this is a bit fiddly, so please pay close attention. I make sure that my plate is selected. And what I'm going to do first is make a duplicate. So Shift D. So if we go to our, oh sorry, you want to do Shift D. And then if you look here, you see you have two plates. So I'm just gonna do that again. So do Ctrl C to undo. I select my plate, I do Shift D, followed by Enter. So now we have two plates on exactly the same position. You can also do Ctrl C, Ctrl V, or whatever the equivalent is on a Mac. So now we have two plates on exactly the same location. I'm gonna hide one of them. So we have one left. I'm gonna rotate this on the X-axis, so RX 90 from 90 degrees. And I'm gonna do the same with the other one. RX90. I'm gonna make sure that only one plate is selected with the eye, with this eye icon here. I wanna look straight to my plate by clicking on this icon here. If you rotate it the other way, maybe you wanna click on the red dot there. So now I'm gonna go over to the splitting. So I click on my plate. I go to edit mode. So you want to make sure that everything is selected. If for whatever reason nothing is selected and it's not orange, what you want to do is you want to press on the A key from your keyboard. Then I look into this menu and I look for the knife icon. So I want to click on the small arrow there because I want to have the bisect tool. So I want to cut my plate in this direction, exactly on the middle line or on the line in the center. So I just draw a line like that. And then you greet it with this circle here. And we have a small menu here as well. So I want to click on that arrow. And here we can do some precise adjustments on where we're going to cut our plate. So let's see. I want to make sure that this is set to 0. So with this one I can change the angle. I want that to be on 0 as well. I leave this as it is. This is the location. So let's say if I only want to cut like the top bit off, I can move it like so, like here. However, I want this to be on the 0 of my origin, so press 0. So now we're in the center. So what I'm going to do now is select which one I don't want to keep. So let's say in this case I don't want to keep the bottom bit. So I click on that icon there. Now if we look here, you can see it's still open, and we can close it if we want to by clicking on the fill icon. Okay. So now we have closed our plate, and I'm happy with everything, so I can just click somewhere in my screen and then the command gets executed. So we can't go back in time. If we want to go back, we need to do like an undo, but this is what it is. If you did make a mistake, however, we have the copy here. So we have this copy. However, in our case, we're going to use the copy to do the same operation, but now we want to keep the bottom bit. Okay, so I'm going to look again. That's straight on my plate. I want to make sure I'm in object mode because I need to select this plate. Then I need to go back in edit mode. So everything is selected again, everything is yellow. Then I go back to the bisect tool, and again I'm gonna draw a line, and I'm gonna make adjustments to my values just to make sure that this is in the right place. And now I wanna get rid of the top. So I make sure that I make the right selection. So make sure that I click on fill. If I'm happy with everything, again, I click somewhere in my screen and I go back to edit mode, to object mode. So now you see we have two halves of our plate. And my idea is to print those components on my 3D printer. However, I still want to rotate this component. So I'm going to do that with the help of the rotate command. So press R, X, 90. Sorry, I'm going to press R, X, 180. And then you see we have the two halves. However, they're intersecting here. I don't want that, so I can do like G, Y to move it a little bit on the Y axis. And then we have the two halves. Now, to be a little bit more efficient with my space, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate this part 180 degrees, RZ 180. And then I can move it a little bit closer, so GY. So like that, there's then the 3D printer needs less time going from one object to the other. Okay, so I just want to make sure that there are no intersections, that they're not touching each other. And then what I can do is I select both components. I go to File, Export, STL, and let's call this plates scaled in half. So you can name it however you want. Maybe this is something makes sense for me. Feel free to use whatever you want to use. And then I go to Export STL. And now we have exported our 3D printable plates. So I will 3D print this, and with super glue I can glue it back together. So yeah, I hope you like this small video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.